Welcome to the Powerful One podcast, episode 31 with Cezar Bononi. So excited to share this episode with you guys. But before we get into the episode, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is a platform where we have people who have divided themselves from the norm and gone against the grain and found something that they love, found something that they're powerful about, and they're sharing that power with the world. I want to remind you of the definition of powerful: having control and influence over people and events, and having a strong effect on people's feelings or thoughts. So what we're really trying to do here is drive action in your life, to drive feelings of power and drive emotional feelings to get you to where you want to be in life. If you feel stuck, if you feel stagnant, these are people who have gone out and done it. It is possible. I just wanted to remind you of that. Just know that it is possible. Anything you want in this life, you can have. That is why today's guest is perfect. Cezar Bononi defied the odds. He is living the American dream. So let me tell you a little bit about Cezar. Cezar was born in São Paulo, Brazil, before he moved to the United States in 2015, where he was signed by WWE. Cezar is currently an independent wrestler who is working shows with AEW, which is one of the biggest wrestling promotions in the world right now. In this episode, we talk about him growing up in São Paulo, Brazil, being very different from everyone in Brazil. He's tall, he played American football, he was very different from a lot of the cultural norm over there in Brazil. We talk about moving to the US. We talk about being recruited and signed by the WWE. Cezar talks about being disciplined and what it takes to get there. Very powerful stuff right there, guys. He talks about what he learned most from his time in WWE, about putting in the reps and building habits. Misconceptions of pro wrestling in the sports entertainment industry. We dive deep into his spirituality and his relationship with God, where he provides amazing examples on how God works in magical ways. We talk about the main differences between AEW and WWE. We talk about overall wrestling and what's next for Cezar going forward. He's got a son, Joshua, on the way. His wife is pregnant, so a really awesome time in Cezar's life, and I'm just so excited to share this episode with you guys. Here it is, episode 31 with Cezar Bononi. And all right, guys, we're here with Cezar Bononi. What's up, my man?
What's going, Tommy? Just here. Being really busy right now because with the baby and everything. So sorry that took us so long to get this again. But hopefully this time everything will work out. Now I got a good mic, so everything will work good.
Yeah, now it's probably going to be on my end where it's going to be crappy. So full disclosure, Cezar and I, we recorded one and it was just the audio wasn't up to par. And so he was nice enough to jump on and do it again. So, you know, second one will be better than the rough draft. So yeah, man, I'm glad. I appreciate you making the time. I know Cezar's busy. Like he said, he's got his wife's pregnant who just walks by in the back. If you're watching on video, and he's back, he's working, he's doing wrestling shows. So super busy. So yeah, man, everything's good right now. What's like your training like and shows and stuff like that right now?
So right now I keep training, like preparation on my body and getting stronger, getting faster, of course, and because the strongest and fastest that I get, the least I injury myself. I'm not training wrestling as the same I was because I was going every day. Right now, I just can't go every day because of my wife is just 7 months, so I got to stick around a little bit more. And of course, there are some weeks that I'm taking out to work because I can finally work right now. So there are a couple of days of the week that I just go to AEW wherever they need me there, and I just go there and work. So it's just great to be back to work. It's great. Like I feel like a different person. I feel like I'm useful again.
Yeah, it's crazy because that's funny you say that. It's crazy because even like we did the first one like a month ago, but it seems like it was not too long ago, which it wasn't. But you're in such a different place now already, and it's only been a month, and so it's actually kind of better that we're doing it now because I think you have some different some insights. It'll be cool, and we'll get into this, just talking a little bit about your time in WWE versus now doing some work with AEW and kind of the differences in that, and just kind of like what you're excited about. But yeah, man, I want to kind of start. I like always starting kind of toward the beginning and just like, so how long have you been wrestling now, man?
So I started wrestling back in 2005 in Brazil. Did it for a couple of years, then stopped to play football in Brazil. Played football for 8, 9 years. Then WWE went to Brazil for um, scouting. They scout me, invited me for a tryout. That was 5 years ago. That the tryout was 6 years ago. Then whole process going on. Finally got hired, moved to the United States, and I've been here for 5 years. And pretty much this is what I've been doing here in the United States. So I'll say that I have 7 years of experience, but five. I'll say five because here's where I really learn how to do it.
Right, right. So like talk about it's interesting for you, like being you're from São Paulo, you're from Brazil, and like being like you played American football, you were a wrestler and you're huge. Like talk a little bit if you don't mind just about like what life was like for you like as a young kid and growing up and stuff like that because obviously it seemed like you had a little bit of different interest than most people and then also like your size, you're huge, like you're you're jacked and everything. So just talk about like what childhood and what like growing up in Brazil was like for you.
Yeah, I was a little bit of an outcast in Brazil, of course, because of my size and because of my particular tastes to everything. Culturally, uh, I was so different than everybody. Uh, I was I was always bad at soccer, and soccer is the only thing that you could do back in the day. So I got bullied hard because of that. So I hate soccer. So I could never get along with the boys because I was so bad at it. Um, and when I finally start to do some different stuff, like I always like wrestling, watching Brazilian wrestling when I was a kid, and I finally found a place to train, and then finally football that I fit even better because of my size. I just started playing football, and I was doing so so good just because of my size. That at that time when I was like 19, 18 was pretty late, but I finally start to find myself and enjoy life. And that's how things started to change in my mind. Instead of just depression and feeling bad and nobody likes me, I had something else to think about it. So it was tough because of all this cultural, even though I'm Brazilian, I was not really into the Brazilian culture, but everything worked out good and worked out great because I always dreamed to move to the United States, and so many years after that, it finally happened. So like I'm not afraid or um, I'm not sad about all the things that happened because everything that happened back there led me through where I am right now.
Yeah, I love that, man. So like, like a lot of like let's talk about like kids in Brazil and like you when you were younger. Is it common to like have aspirations to like move to the United States? And also like if it is or if it isn't, how easy is that to be able to do? Just in general.
So moving to a first world country is a win to every Brazilian. So, and most of Brazilians don't even leave Brazil, of course. And it's not like here in the United States, most of America doesn't leave the United States because they just don't want it. But Brazilians want it, but they can almost never do because it's expensive, it's hard. Uh, Visa wise, it's not easy as well. So, uh, until now, my family thinks that the biggest thing that I did was leave Brazil. This is what make them proud of me was because I left Brazil. I finally left Brazil. It's doing a good life. That's how I grow up listening to, and this is how I feel that my family think about me. So living Brazil is a win already. It doesn't matter whatever you do outside, because of course third world country is not an easy place to live. And if you ever go to a third world country with somebody that is from a third world country, they will show you why. If you just go to visit, you're probably not gonna see it. Even more Brazil, because Brazil is a third world country, but it's almost not. Um, so that's the biggest thing about moving out of Brazil. It's like y'all, every Brazilian think that you won in life already.
Interesting. Yeah, that's crazy to think that. I mean, like you've had a lot of success outside of Brazil, like while you're in the United States, but it's interesting that you say like even still your family, like the biggest thing to them was just being able to make it out in general. So for you, like talk about like that experience of getting moved to the United States. So like WWE comes in, and correct me if I'm wrong with any of these details, but they come in, they're interested in like bringing you and training you and developing you to wrestle for them. So what was that experience like? And then, moving from Brazil to United States and just your overall kind of beginning time with WWE, what was that whole experience like for you?
So that was like a unachievable goal, like the goal that you want it, but you never really tried because you know that it's so away from the possibilities. Like a Brazilian going to the WWE, no, I'm
Right.
not even gonna try. This
Right.
is the chances are so small that, bro, this is what I thought. And the first time that I went to scouting in Brazil, I did not take it serious because I thought it was no. This guy, so I was playing football, and the guy that trained me in Brazil, he called me saying that WWE is going to have a scout for a tryout in Brazil, and I was no way, I don't believe you. And he said, I swear to God, they're coming on April 24th. That was the day I was getting married. So yeah, okay, good that they're coming. I'm getting married that day. See ya. I'm not going. There's no way that I can go. And I was like so comfortable that it wasn't true because for me it was such an impossible thing to happen that I was okay with that. And I finally got married. Next day, I opened my Facebook and I see William Regal and my trainer over there in Brazil, and I was my God, I lost the opportunity of my life.
Oh man.
I can't believe it. I called them right away, right away. I called them and say, no, that's okay. They came here. They looked for you. You weren't here. They're coming back in October. Can you be ready? I will. I will be ready. I dropped the phone, called my football team and say, hey, I'm done. I'm going to take
Wow.
4 months on training because I need to get in better shape. Of course, I was playing football, so I wasn't. I was training to get big. I was like 270, 265, but with a lot of body fat. Uh, and I had to, man, when they come here, I gotta be a different man. And that's what I did. I was like working, taking 3 hours to commute to work, 3 hours to commute back. Uh, so I would wake up, get all my meals done, go to work. Wherever I get to work during lunch. There was a jiu-jitsu gym on the other side of the street on my office. I'll go there, train for 30 minutes, take a shower, eat something for 5 minutes, get back to work, get back home, 3 hours to get back home, go straight to the gym, work out, and I was like sleeping 4 hours a night because I really needed to lose weight and look good. And they finally went there. Everything worked good. They invited me for a tryout right there. All the discipline that I learned on football, I applied to getting ready for that tryout and in the tryout. And I'm really thankful for all of that because all of that worked it out. I finally got hired. Never imagined that that was a possibility for me, but God works in a mysterious way. And I literally did not chase that. But when I got the opportunity, I was ready for it. I was getting prepared, doing whatever I could with the opportunity that felt in my lap because I wasn't looking into going to the WWE.
Yeah, I feel like that's so crazy. And I want to touch on like the discipline part because you're such a disciplined person. Like even from me knowing you, it's cool to hear about like how disciplined you were back then when you were training for it. And then like I guess you said a little bit of that was through football, but right now, I mean, you work out every single day. Even when we were down, in Florida together, wrestling for 3-4 hours a night, you were training, you were working out every day. Your eating was on point. So where did the discipline come in for you? Have you always been super disciplined, or can you kind of pinpoint something from your past that kind of made you disciplined?
No, so growing up, because my brother was so good at sports and I was so bad, I always tried to avoid sports. And even at school, my grades weren't the best. I didn't like to study at all. If the subject wasn't on my interest, which most of them wouldn't, I wouldn't spend my time on it. And I would just study to get a C, and that was enough for me. So my grades in high school are all C's, so I don't care. But whatever, I learned football and I start to enjoy football. I knew that I had to do something else to get better, so I could enjoy it more, and that's what I did. So I never liked to work out, but for me to get better and to not get hurt so I can train more, I got to get stronger. I got to get faster. And that's when I learned the power of discipline, the power of the 0.1% every day. You just got to do the 0.1% every day, no failing. And I try all of that with my body. I try training without nutrition, doesn't work. I try nutrition without training, doesn't work. I try nutrition, 90% good nutrition, 10% bad nutrition, 100% good training, doesn't work. You got to be 100%, 100%. Uh, and 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 I got that on trial and error because we didn't have much information in Brazil
Right, right.
at the time. So I had to learn by myself and try on my body, see whatever works on me. That's why it took me 15 years of training to really learn and get to the level that I am right now. And if I knew all the things I know right now, I know that I'll get there in 3 years. I'm pretty sure that I will get there in 3 years because I did a lot of wrong things, a lot. But I was just trying and trial error, try something else. Trying error, try something else. And that's how I got my discipline. And and I start to apply that on my school because I went to school after that, and my grades on college was different way than high school. My grades were good because I was taking discipline serious because I know how important it is to really stick to something and keep doing it and every day. The power of something that you do every day in 1 year is something amazing. You're not gonna see different in 2 weeks. You're not gonna see different in 2 months. You may see in six, but in 1 year, absolutely you're gonna see a big difference. Like from an instance, this year, I think when we were training, um, I was 235. I was pretty skinny,
Yeah.
and I knew that I was about to get my work permit and I needed to change, and I changed. Even though I was still very depressed, I was still doing all I had to do, and I gained almost 30 pounds from that time. I am 265 right now.
Wow.
I gained a lot of weight in like almost a little bit over 2 months, I guess, something like that, because that's all because of discipline. Of course, I have very very knowledgeable people behind me teaching me how to do the right things, and I trust them because I've seen their results before, and I'm just following them. It's not I'm not inventing the wheel. I'm just following something that somebody told me to do, and I trust that person, and it's been working great. Like since the football times, I don't weigh 265, and I'm leaner than ever. So it's just the power of every day doing the same thing every day, and discipline is one of the biggest things that I learned. And I think if I am here right now, it's because I learned discipline.
Dude, I love that, man. That's awesome. And like I can attest to that because I saw Cesar like 2 months ago and you looked great, but like your shape now, watching you on TV right now, it's like a world of difference. And so, that's such a testament to you and your discipline. And I know, like, I wanted you to talk a little bit, if you don't mind, just about like
I know you mentioned that WWE helped you really like learn a lot about like how to build muscle and like nutrition and strength training. What would you say is like one of the biggest things you learned in your time in WWE?
What I got the most is strength and conditioning training because I really learned with Sean Hayes, that is a WWE um, strength and conditioning coach. I learned so much with him because even though this business uh, is a show business, you still look good. But if I'm not strong, I can hurt myself and I can hurt the person that I am with in the ring. So we gotta be responsible for that. So he always build a great program that will make you strong and also make you look good. And this kind of program, I still follow the things that I learned with him, and I apply that to my training. So right now I train by myself, and I have a good gym right here in my apartment complex. You came
Awesome.
here. It's limited, but still there is free weights.
Yeah.
If there's free weights, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you need, and I always set my workouts based on all the things that I learned from him, and this is something that I'll take forever because he taught me how to really train strength without taking the risk to get hurt. So I still work strength, but I don't do like one M rep. I don't do a max rep
Yeah.
ever. I do two. I do two. The gain that I'm gonna get if I train 1 to 2 is um, it's not worth it to risk getting injured. And also he taught me so much about mobility. So right now my shoulders feels great. For the first time I could do overhead squats because I've been doing his training, all those things that I learned from him, I've been applying, and it heals my shoulders, heal my hips. So now I can move better and I can lift more weight because I can move better. Uh, this is the biggest thing that I got from there that I would take for the rest of my life. But also, there are so many things that I learned over there. Of course, my English got way better since I got there because I had to learn how to talk.
Right.
Uh, Staying in front of a camera for me is nothing right now because I had to do so many times, so many repetitions. We had to go every day in a room with a camera and do that 3 times a day, every day for 4.5 years. Count that. How many times? How many reps did I got?
Yeah.
That's discipline. That's discipline. You gotta go there and do it every day. You gotta go there and do it every day. And repetitions brings perfection. You gotta keep doing. And of course, so many times I went there inside of the room and it wasn't good, but I was doing something and I was getting better at some point. And that's how I got so comfortable of being inside of a camera and even speaking English that I know that I make a lot of mistakes, but I'm pretty sure that everybody understands me because I can still uh, send a message not just with words, but I can still send my emotions through the way that I speak. And this is the most important part about learning a different language, because I could speak perfect English, but not show my emotions. That would not be enough, because our communication skills is to share emotions. This is why we talk. This is why we interact. So uh, discipline that I learned in football that I apply at the WWE, and and I could learn all these other things that I had a lot of chances. I could meet great people that I still talk to today. I learned about business, how to how Americans are way more different than Brazilians to the business. Brazilians, you cannot say no to a Brazilian. Americans, they'll say no to you and they will not say why, which is good. Why can I just not say no for something that I don't want?
Right.
So there's just so many things that I learned. It's been 4.5 years. Uh, I just always talk to my wife like I've been married to her for 7 years, so we're living together longer here in the United States than in Brazil. So we change a lot, of course. The environment changes us as well. So I learned so many things, and I just can't list them. I can't come into my head like training. I learned so much. I learned about American, how the way American do business. I learned my English, and I learned that repetitions takes to perfection. You just gotta keep doing, keep doing. At one point, you're gonna get better. There's no way if you keep doing, you'll not get better. You're not gonna get better in 2 weeks. You get better in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, and I think there's a definitely a correlation because I always say like your habits and like what you're doing consistently, like you said, the reps is what ultimately can lead to the discipline. Because if you're doing something every day for a long period of time, that's going to build kind of that discipline. And so I like kind of how that ties in. Like you said, like you were just going there and you were getting the reps, and you know, like going off of what you just said as well, like the emotions and stuff that like that's something you were so good at and I was so blessed to be able to learn from you like every single day when we were down there wrestling is how good you were with like showing emotion and stuff. And not, you know, your English is really great. I told you like the first day I met you, I was like, dude, you have really great English. But like the emotions and like the way you can like captivate people by like your, whether it's like your body language or your like your facial expressions, like that is something that's a very hard skill, and you have that down. And I think a lot of people don't realize maybe how important, if they don't know wrestling, that is, you know.
And it's good that you said you use this word skill. Every skill is trainable.
Mm.
Every skill you can get better. You just gotta keep practicing. Keep practicing. Every skill you can. This is a rule. Everything that you can. Oh, this is a skill. I can get better. Creativity is a skill, and you can get. It's hard, but you can get better. You just gotta keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, and one good thing is gonna come out. Uh, and also with habits. You said that our life, our brain is lazy. So we create habits so we don't have to think, right? You wear your socks every morning. If I ask you, do you wear your right one or your left one first? You'll not be able to tell me because this is an habit already.
Yeah.
It's an habit. You just do it because you're conditioned. You're doing every day. You're doing automatically. And there is a way for us to manage all our habits to be good habits. Because you're not gonna. Everybody has habits, but you can just change your bad habits to good habits. At first, it's hard, but you gotta keep doing, and then it's gonna change, and you're not gonna even notice. You're not gonna do it anymore. It's just like people that smoke. They smoke because they like to stay here. They like to return here. It's this. So many times, what is the treatment? They get the spinners or something like that, something that they keep doing with their hands. They are changing a habit for something that is less prejudicial to them.
Oh.
And we can do the same thing. We just got to notice what are bad habits and pick a good habit that we can change.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm super glad you said that. I even think I was listening to a podcast like last week and it said like 90% of what we do is like unconscious. It's all on autopilot. It's all like,
Bro, we have like 60,000 thoughts a day. 60,000 thoughts a day. And every thought is a decision.
mm.
Do you think you really take 60,000 decisions a day? Hell no, I take like 40 that I really stop and think. No, not even that. That I really stop and no.
Right.
Most of them is just automatic. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna turn to my right side.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step with my first right foot. I'm gonna turn on the lights. Let me pick my toothbrush, put my toothpaste, and let me start with my right side. No, you don't think that. You just go because
Wow.
you're. This is a habit, and we gotta think on the habits, on the wrong habits that we do, and how to change them. Because you're not gonna just. I'm not gonna do it anymore. You're gonna switch for something else. You gotta. Uh, I just can't get the. It's a substitution. So you gotta
Wow.
change a good one for a bad one, or you're gonna change a bad one for another bad one. There are a lot of people that are gonna stop smoking, start drinking. They change an habit. It's not a good one, but they still have an habit.
Dude, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's such an interesting thing, man. That's a little, something we didn't even mention that I'm so glad we had this opportunity to talk about, because I think that's some powerful stuff, man. And Cesar, I know you have a really good kind of example of like, so if people don't know like what pro wrestling is, if they don't know what sports entertainment is, if they think it's just like, oh, you do that fake fighting, what would you say to somebody to explain to them what is professional wrestling? What do you do for a living? I think you have a really good example, and I like to use this one a lot as well.
So I don't think it is the same that that I used before, but
Oh, I'm curious.
I used to say that it's just like a movie or a soap opera or a series. It's it's something that we get a emotional connection to it. And of course, when you're watching a movie, you're waiting for that interaction between the good guy and the bad guy, and how they're gonna emotionally connect, because you wanna feel that emotion as well. And we do that live. We do that live. It's soap operas are big in Brazil, so and I get more Brazilians talking to me about my job than anything. Americans are pretty good; they know what it is, so
Right, right.
that they don't ask. But Brazilians, they're hard. I'm losing my patience with them. I'm not even doing this anymore, like
Oh,
explaining to them what it is.
oh yeah.
Uh, but I say to them, it's just like a soap opera that you watch it, and if you see the actor at the street, you're gonna scream at him, and you'll be watching that, waiting 2 months for someone to slap someone in the face. But we are fighting every day, every time we're punching each other in the face. It's just like the same thing as a movie or a theater, any kind of art. It's a kind of art. Uh, of course, we have the athleticism on it, and instead of we use words as well, but we use body movements and emotions to tell a story.
I love it. No, that's a good answer. That is a little bit different from your original answer, but yeah, that's a
Yeah,
terrific.
it's because I'm losing the patience. This week, I just gotta tell this. So Brazilians are really into MMA, right? Brazilians are really into MMA, so they think they know everything. And I went to a baby birthday. She was 4, and half of the party was American, half of the party was Brazilian. And I didn't know any of the Brazilians that were there. I knew the Americans. And somebody said to a Brazilian that I was a wrestler. And when you say to a Brazilian that you're a wrestler, they think you're a fighter. So this guy show up, bro. He looked like. Have you ever seen a pigeon trying to fight?
I can picture it.
It's like this, bro. So the guy was like little chubby, came like this. The his jaw was so high, I almost hit my forehead, bro. He was like,
Oh my
"Hey,
god.
man, so you're a fighter?" And bro, that happened to me so many times. Happened so many times that I lost my patience already. So I did, yeah, I am. And where do you train? I don't train. Uh, no, because I know Ronaldo Jacaré. It's cool. Like Ronaldo Jacaré lives here in Orlando, and everybody knows him, man. It's every guy that comes like this, and he's a pretty cool guy. It's not his fault.
Right, right, right.
It's gonna sell his name. Oh, I know Ronaldo Jacaré. I know this guy. And this guy. Yeah, I don't know anybody. No, I do fake fighting. Yeah, TV fake fighting. And the guy, TV fake fighting. Oh, yeah, TV fake fighting. And he, oh, that one's on TV. It was big, right? No, it's bigger than ever. Right now it's even bigger. Oh yeah, I remember that blonde guy, Hulk Hogan. Yeah, Hulk Hogan was his name.
Yo, so you're
Oh
just
yeah, man, cool, and turn to America and start to talk. I just lost my
oh
patience,
man,
man.
so you
Because
just
when the guy shows up like this, bro, I usually this is a 10 minutes conversation
right.
explaining everything that I told you, and end up with the guy not respecting me. So I don't even. If the guy show up like this again, that's the same. No, I don't train. I do fake fighting. I'm weak.
Oh, dude, that is
It's
so
gonna be
funny.
like that,
That is
bro.
so
My time is not worth it anymore.
yeah. Yeah, right. Because you spent it like 10 minutes trying to explain them, and at the end of the day, it's not like you're gonna like change their mind. And so,
No, it's not. He's gonna still think that he's better than me just because I do wrestling.
right,
Because
that's
he just don't understand what it is, and he don't want to understand. He just wanna bring it down. So
yeah, man. I would encourage people to like. Is there a favorite match maybe that you have that people can go watch, or a favorite match of all time that people can go watch if they want to like get into it?
Bro, there's so many. I just sent one on the Facebook group that we have. I love that match. Is Roddy Piper against Briscoe, and it's an old school match. I love old school stuff because they don't do many moves. They just
Yeah,
tell a good
yeah,
story. They just tell a it's clearly you know what is going on. There's no mistake. I just like those simple matches from the 80s, 70s, and I try to apply a lot of that, which is hard nowadays because everybody wanna do blah 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 blah. But yeah, man, or anything from the Brainbusters and Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express, anything from these guys it's 100% going to be a good match.
yeah. I love it. No, I like the old school stuff too. And I'm kind of the same. Like I don't necessarily love the flip and flop and stuff. I like the storytelling, the old school kind of stuff. Yeah, I was just gonna say, man. I know you're huge into your spirituality. You have a great relationship with God, and I want to just talk about like how that's been a huge part of your life, if you don't mind.
Yeah, man. This just like we're talking about habits. We just gotta. We are. We live in three different. We are spirit, we are soul, and we are physical, right? So we take care of our physical part. Like I work out every day. I eat my right food. I take care of my soul, which is my mind, reading, listening to podcasts, trying to get smart, taking care of my emotions, and all these kind of things. And we also gotta take care of our spirit, right? So God gave us this great body, mind, and spirit, and He wants us to take care of these three. And turning all of this into a habit makes makes you whole because you're taking care of everything. You're balancing stuff, right? You're gonna balance your health, your mental health, and your spirituality, right? So I try to make the best of an habit that I can. Not gonna say that I do it every day, and there are times that are hard that we really fight with God and just ask Him, "Hey, come on, man!" But this is part of the spirituality because you're building a relationship with God, your Creator, uh, that He asks us to do. He asks us to be close to Him, to because He wants that so much. This is what He wants the most for us to have a relationship with Him, right? uh, and he gave us all the tools that we need to have this. He gave us prayers. He gave us fasting. He gave us his word that we can read every day and learn. He gave us people that live and believe in the same things that we are, that we can get together and talk about him, because wherever two or more are together, he will be there. And he always take his promises serious. right? He never failed on something like that. So I always try to take care of these three parts. It's hard, even more nowadays, and sometimes things get out of control. But I always am. I am praying every day. I am reading the Bible. Even there are some days that I don't want to do it. I truly don't want to do it because I'm such in a bad mental place that I don't want to do it. But I just go there and read one verse, and sometimes this verse change my whole day.
I love that.
Change my whole day. Because the word is alive. The word is alive, uh, and it changes every time you read it. And but this is something that you're only gonna get if you have a relationship with God, and you have a relationship with God, having the habit of looking for Him every day.
Yeah.
And this is what I try to do, and and I always try to get even closer and closer to Him and learn more about Him and doing doing this all these things that I said, praying, fasting. I'm gonna start a fasting this Sunday, 21 days of fasting. Uh, Reading, because I read the Bible every day, and I get together with people that have the same beliefs as me, and they all, if I'm a little bit going getting away, they pull me back. If they're getting a little bit away, I pull them back, because this is how we work. Because we got the same goal, which is know God more and get closer to Him, and just to spend time with Him, because it's good. Uh, it's the ultimate goal that we have to get on our minds, is to get closer to God, because He will take care of all the other things. That's another promise that He did. Like, uh, and I am living proof of that, because I lost my job in April. My wife got pregnant. I never thought about getting a green card, but God worked in a way that He made possible for me to work on a green card. He made possible for me to have a kid in the United States, because I never wanted to have a kid in Brazil. And of course, I've been unemployed since April, so I cannot work. If I work with something and I get caught, I'll get kicked out, because I can't stay here in the United States. And the only thing that I can work right now is wrestling. If
Right.
I drive Uber and somebody get me, all my process is done. So I'm not gonna do anything like that. And of course, I'm not making money. I started to make a little bit of money 3 weeks ago, a little bit. So imagine all this time, God took care of me. And when I say took care of me, I said that I don't have room in my fridge because it's so full of food. It's so full of food that if you bring me right now a can of Vienna sausages, I don't have a place to stock them, because God has been taking care of me this whole time. Uh, there is a meal prep company that is sending me meals for free. They're just sending me. Same thing. I have to eat them to receive more, because there's some times that they call me, hey, I got like 17 for you. I'll just go there. It's 5 minutes from my home. I go there and pick it up, and I don't have room in my freezer to freeze it. I have to eat it.
Wow.
Uh, my baby's about to be born. I only bought him one set of clothes because I wanted to be the first one to give him something. I
Mm.
got a crib. I got two cribs. I got a stroller on the size that we need, because I'm pretty tall. My wife is pretty tall as well. It have to be a higher one. There's only one in the market. We got that. We got that. We got so many clothes that we are giving away clothes because we have so much. We
Wow.
have friends that are getting baby, and we are giving away because we have so much. Uh, I just can count all the things that God has been taking care. It's so many, so many small and big things that He's taking care of. People can say that it's just lucky, or is, I don't know. I don't see. other thing than God taking care of me. Was not the way that I wanted him to take care of me, but he is, because that's a promise that he made, right? And he is not like me, that when I make a promise, I don't take it. I don't. So many times I promise something and I don't keep my promises, but God always does, and He's been taking care of me in so many ways that I can I can clearly say that He's taking care of me because I know Him that much. If I didn't know Him, I have no idea how I would be right now, like mentally and financially, because He's taking care of everything, everything, and I ain't doing anything. I did not ask anyone anything. Things just start to, hey, this. Hey, you need a crib? I got a brand new, never used in the box. Just come and pick it up. Things like that are happening. I have a friend that, oh, so do you need something? And I, no, I don't need anything. So I got this car. It's parked for 1 year. Do you want to take it? And this guy gave me a car.
Wow.
This guy gave me a car.
That's
It's a used car, but he gave me a car,
wow. Man.
right? There's like, you can think whatever you want, but I will say that this is God acting, and it's so clear that nobody can say anything otherwise, because He made His promises, He always keep it. So there's no way that I can believe in something else like luck.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Dude, I love that, man. That's powerful. That's powerful. Hey, so talk about, I know you have a really good example, and the last time you said it, I got chills, but, talk about like the good thing about, consistency and about, consistency with faith is that if you ever do lose it, like you said, like God will always be there. So talk a little bit about
Yeah, yeah.
that you have. I absolutely love it so much.
So one thing that we gotta be aware of is that God is not like us. He made us like Him, but He gave us free will, and but sin made us what we are, right? So we are always sinning and doing whatever all the time, and we think that we are not worth it because we are not. But He loved us so much that He gave us His only child that never sinned to pay for our sins, because He loved us so much. And I always use this example. I love my dogs. I love my dogs. And there are some people that I wouldn't sacrifice my dogs for them. And of course, they did not do the same things that I did. They don't have the same sins. They did not sin the same way I did with God. Because I know, I cannot, I cannot say anything about other people's sins. I can say about mine, because I know myself and I know how bad I am. I know the thoughts that goes through my mind. And but God is different, because He loves us so much and He want to have a relationship with us. And He's just like, I'm gonna use another analogy with dogs. Every time I open my door, my dogs are like, "My God, so good you're here. So I was waiting for you so much." It doesn't matter how long I stay away. It doesn't matter what I did to them before leaving. God is the same. You're gonna screw up. God is gonna know, but He's gonna be waiting for you to get back. He's gonna be waiting, and whatever you get back, thanks God. Thank you. Thank you for being back. I was waiting for you. Thank you. I needed. I wanted to spend time with you. I was just waiting for you to get back. It doesn't matter what you did. I forgive you, and I'm here because I love you. I just want to stay close to you. Please stay close to me. That's how God is. He's I forgot what verse it is, but he said that he takes long to get mad. I know in Portuguese, so I'll just try to translate anyway in English.
Yeah, please
It
do.
takes long for God to be mad at something, but it's a click for him to forgive and forget, not forgive, forget. Like I forgave a lot of people, but I did not forget what they did. God forgives and forget. It's just like if you're, but God, I did this. I don't remember. No, don't you remember I did this and that? Oh no, 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 that's I don't remember. That's okay. I don't. Mm-mm. He forgives and he forget. He's not gonna throw at your head for you to keep thinking. The one who does that is a different person. This is the devil. He's always gonna be right there, always gonna point to you and say all the things you did. But we gotta remember that we are forgiven. We are forgiven.
I think that I'm so glad you said that, Cesar. I got the chills just thinking about it, man. But like, that's, I think, so important because I think a lot of people, let's say they fall off their faith and they fall out of their relationship with God and they feel like it's too far gone, but it's like, it's never too far gone. Like if people just remember what you said, that he forgives and he forgets, and then it's not too late. Like you said, he's waiting like, oh, like Cesar, like welcome back. And I think that that's such a powerful thing. And I'm so glad you said that because I think a lot of people will fall off for so long and think that it's too late to go back, you know?
It's never too late. It's never too. There is no sin that cannot be redeemed by the blood of Christ. There is no sin. If there is any sin that cannot be paid by the blood of Christ, his sacrifice was not enough. And
Mm,
that is a lie because his sacrifice was more than enough.
dude, amen.
More
Oh,
than enough. And not for me, not for you, but for whole humanity.
dude, I love that, man. That's powerful, bro. I got the chills, man. I love it. I love it, Cesar. It's so, you know, I like talking about you is like, you know, we just did a podcast, yet like we're talking again, it's all these new things, all these new examples. Like I'm still like learning. It's like we just picked back up where we left off. It's great, man.
Because I'm learning too. Every day is going by and I'm learning and I'm going to keep learning. And this is what brings me more excitement for my kid when he comes in December because I got so many things to learn from him. Like I will understand God a lot more whenever I see my kid. I'm pretty sure because I don't understand the fatherly love that much because I I did not have much from my father. Now he was a bad father, but I did not have much. But I'll probably understand because I will feel that to my son, and I will understand God a little bit better, and it's something that I will learn more. So this this is what I'm most excited is that I will learn about God just a moment. Everybody says a moment like this. Every first time that you look at your child's face, you get it. It's like, oh, that's it. And I'm just waiting for this moment. I'm just waiting because I know that it's gonna be a great learning and understanding moment in my
Yeah,
life.
that's awesome, man. It's so cool, and I want to like talk about that because you have so much cool things going on right now. You know, you're doing shows with AEW. You got your work permit. You got a baby on the way. So just talk about everything you have going on right now, man, and we'll wrap up with that and just talk about how exciting everything is and what's next for you and everything like that.
So right now, finally back to work. I can work. I can do stuff. I have a lot of projects in my mind that I still have to put them together. But some cool big stuffs. Still waiting to debut on the Indies. Still did not had any chances. But probably November 14th, something like that will happen. Maybe I'll see my friend Tommy right there as well.
I'll see you
uh,
there.
I'm just waiting for a good opportunity at AW. They're treating me really good, like I never thought it was possible in this business. Um Still don't have a contract with them. I want it, of course. Still waiting for see what happens. Uh, Now waiting for my baby as well, getting everything ready. Uh, that's it. I'm just excited to see how it's gonna be the next couple months. So many things can happen. So many things happen already, and I was just talking to my wife like this year is about to change from the worst year to the best year ever.
That's what I
Like
was thinking in
that.
my head, dude. It's so funny you said that because in my head I was literally thinking like, yo, Cesar had like this down year, and it's literally turning around to be even like 10 times better than it could have possibly been. It's
And,
crazy.
and this is another promise that God made me. This is a clear promise that God made to me, right? One day before I got fired, a friend of mine, he have his knees are bad because so much time he spent praying, right? He he's close to God, really close, and he called me one day before I got fired, saying that I would get fired. Yeah,
Wow.
2 years I don't talk to him. It's been 2 years that I hadn't did
Yeah.
not talk to him. He called me straight, didn't even send me a text. He called me straight and say that. But say that. But don't worry, God is taking care of everything. He's gonna turn everything upside down, and you're gonna be happier than you can ever imagine.
That is insane, man. If that's not the power of the Lord, I don't know what is. That is some.
Now there is two choices when something like that happens, right? Of course, this is something that happened to me because I have a relationship with God, right? A lot of people ask, "Oh, why doesn't happen to me?" Because you can't see it. Your eyes are not open to see that. I see that as clearly a message from God, and it's a promise. And this, of course, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, God said that. I'm good." It's not. God said that was, oh my God, really? Oh no, what now? What now? And then I always have to remember, He said that everything's gonna be fine. And okay, I'll trust. I decide to trust God. I decide to trust God. Let me, and then times go by and nothing happened. Nothing happened, and then I start to fight with God. Like, come on, God,
Yeah.
come. You told me that. Come on, do something,
Mm.
please. Come on. And then again, I decide to trust the Lord. Let's keep going. Every promise he gave me, he kept it. So I will trust him. But that doesn't matter that I'm not gonna be
Ah,
taking care of everything.
yeah.
The sin inside of me, my head, and all these things are fighting away. The enemy is right there. Ha! God says gonna take care of me. How are you gonna pay that bill, huh?
Mm.
Where's your God now? Every day, every day. But me, I decide that I'm gonna believe and trust whatever God told me, because He never failed me, and it's a everyday battle.
Yeah.
But still, I have this promise. That this promise is what keep me in track, and I always getting out of track a little bit. Oh, I remember the promise.
And I feel like every time you make that promise, and it brings you just closer with your relationship to God. Every time you decide to keep in God's hands, like it brings you closer. And I think that's very, very powerful, just with strengthening that relationship. You know what I mean? Is having those battles. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And since He asked for your relationship, how many times I fought with my brother, how many times I fought with my best friend, how many times I fought with my wife, right? There's some times that I will fight with God as well. I'll get mad at Him because
Yeah.
this is who I am. But then He, with His righteousness and His love, He reminds me that He's taking care, and then I have to trust Him.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. That's awesome. So you mentioned a minute ago about AEW and how you're doing some shows for them now. So talk a little bit, if you don't mind. I didn't want to forget this, but just a little bit of the differences for your short time with AEW right now versus your four plus years with WWE, and talk a little bit about the differences, just if you don't mind, and where you're at now with AEW.
So there are a lot of differences. We have to start at I was at the performance center, which was a school So very different environment, right? And AEW is not a school; they're just doing shows. Uh, so there are a lot of difference on that, and of course, my experience when I started at WWE 5 years ago and right now is different. So of
Right.
course, I'm gonna get treated different in these places. Uh, but one of the biggest things, like, there is no big egos and a lot of bosses at AEW. It's a very relaxed environment that will allow you to be way more creative than at the WWE. And I still have to understand that. All the times that I've been there, I still, because it's been so long that I stayed at the WWE, that I learned how to behave in a different way. So, and I have to learn how to behave on the AEW way. This is the biggest difference right there, is the environment at
It's
all.
true, man. That's the biggest thing I think is just environment and culture. I think it's the biggest thing. And so the fact that it seems like it's a really good culture and environment, and you're enjoying your time there, it's awesome, man. It's exciting.
It's great. It's great. Like, everybody will talk to you. You don't have to be afraid of talking to anyone. If you stop Tony Khan to talk, he will stop and talk to you.
Wow.
Like, like that. It's just something that never happened in the WWE. Like, there are a lot of people that you were afraid of just say hi because you don't know how they will take it.
Right. Yeah. No, that's exciting, man, dude. I'm super excited for you. And guys, if you're listening, go check out Cezar. By the time this drops, he'll have been on, AEW Dark on Tuesday nights, a bunch. So go check that out on YouTube and stuff like that. And Cezar, where can people find you to stay up to date with everything you got going on? You got a lot going on right now.
So you can find me on Twitter or Instagram. My tag right there is the same. So it's Cezar, Cezar, Bononi _ on both, on Instagram and on Instagram and on Twitter. I also have my YouTube channel with my wife, but it's
Yes.
everything in Portuguese. If you want to check that out, you're more than welcome. It's Família Bononi nos e. That's going to be hard to say because it's in Portuguese, the name
It's
as
all
well.
good. I'll link it. I'll put the link below.
Yeah, put the link right there. I'll send you the link and you put it right there. If you want to check that out, we're covering all the pregnancy that my wife and myself that we are going through in the United States. That is very different than in Brazil. So there's some cool, interesting stuff right there.
I love it, man. Dude, Cezar, I've said this before. You're literally one of my favorite people in the world. I can't thank you enough for doing this. Spending those couple months down there in Orlando with you was awesome. It was life changing. And I will say this, like, talking to people, whether it's like people in WWE or just people in wrestling in general, they always have the greatest things to say about you. You're a loved guy by everybody. And I
Thank
just
you.
want to thank you again for being a part of this, man. And just thank you for being who you are, man. It means a lot.
Thank you, Tommy. That's all. That's not me. That's all for the glory of the Lord.
I love
He does make that,
it.
because I was very different.
No, I love it, man. You're the best, Cezar. Anything else we missed to wrap up, bro?
No, I think that's it. Thank you very much, everybody that listened,
Yeah.
that watch it. Uh, Also, I pray every day. If you need, or anybody needs any prayer, and even if you don't want to talk about what it is, just text me on Twitter or Instagram. Hey, man, just set me up on your prayers, and I'll
Dude.
be praying for you.
Oh man, I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, that's a huge thing I think is like having maybe like somebody as an outlet too. So yeah, thank you for saying that. So yeah, no, hit up Cezar and go follow him on social media and keep in touch with what he's doing. Thanks again, bro. It means a lot, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys so much for making it to the end. I really appreciate your support, not only for me, not only for Powerful One, but also all the guests on this platform and just tuning in and being inspired and being powerful, man. So, thank you again if you watched this and, excited for the future. Excited. It's been a great year for Powerful One. Excited for everything I have coming in the future, everything with the brand, everything with my personal brand, and just everything in general. So just want to thank you guys again, and be sure to share this if it inspired you, if it felt powerful, if you connected with it. Share it with your friends, share the platform. Please go, if you don't mind, go subscribe on YouTube, Go write a review on iTunes. All that stuff really means a lot. Thank you guys again, and be sure to stay tuned because every week we are coming out with a new podcast episode. Stay locked into the page, guys. Thank you. Stay powerful.